So today I woke up in such a negative mindset. I woke up feeling lost, and it's not just because I support Chelsea Football Club. So in this video, we're going to talk about changing that losing mentality into a winning one. I set my alarm for 6 a.m, snooze till 6:40. So every 10 minutes, snooze, falling back to sleep, waking up in shock, snooze. There's no benefit in that. Didn't benefit me, just made me feel worse. What's the point? Should have just got up. The other thing as well is last night I promised myself I'd do a workout. So I normally set my alarm for 6. Normally by the time I'm getting sorted, it's about 10 past, quarter past. I promised myself I'd do a 45-minute workout just to start the day strong, get back into nice healthy routines, healthy habits. And I snoozed through it. In fact, I did have 10 minutes left. And I was saying to myself, you know what I'll do? I'll just do some push-ups. I've got 10 minutes, can knock out some push-ups. Doing something is better than nothing. What I usually do is I get my phone out because I've got a calculator and a stopwatch that I use when I do workouts. So I got my phone out, but the big shiny TikTok logo was calling me. So you can see where that's going. Before I know it, I'm scrolling through the feed. 10 minutes has passed. In fact, more than 10 minutes has passed. So I was actually late for checking on my son to make sure he'd got up okay. And I just wasted it. 10, 15 minutes on TikTok. I can't even remember. I can't even tell you what I watched. No value from it. Got the dopamine hit. Didn't do my workout. Snoozed most of the morning. Broke my promises to myself. So slowly losing trust in myself. So yeah, that's how this morning started. And the thing is, it's not just this morning. Now, these vices and these habits are slowly worming their way back into my life, and it's something that I've worked really hard to eradicate. So if you find yourself feeling like this, or you can relate to this video, you're not alone, and hopefully this can help you too. Over the past 2 or 3 years, I've been on a self-improvement journey where I just wanted to improve my lifestyle, improve my health, improve my knowledge, improve my business, step out my comfort zone. In doing that, I've had to eradicate a few things. One of them is I took alcohol out of my life. Grew up in an era where, we'd go out drinking. It was the nightclub era, the party era. The whole weekend was dedicated to that. At Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'd be out in town, socialising, partying, drinking, eating unhealthy food. Whatever you get up to, at that age. I quit social media for 2 years. So these were some of the things that I thought weren't adding value to my life. So I wanted to move them out the way so I could spend that time doing things that are actually going to benefit me. Spending that quality time, self-improvement, stepping out of my comfort zone and just trying to be a better person. And it was all going well until recently. So I'm drinking alcohol again. I'm back on social media. My diet's a bit messed up and I'm not exercising regularly. These are the things that are compounding and contributing to my negative mindset. So I came back onto social media because I wanted to build a bit of a brand. So I wanted to promote videos across multiple platforms. And it was going great. I was on Facebook, on Instagram, promoting videos on there. I thought, oh yeah, TikTok looks good. I'll get on there as well. And before you know it, the mindset started to change. Not only was I promoting my videos on there, I'd start to see the little feed of reels and shorts and TikTok videos, whatever. And suddenly you click it in. And once you're in, that's it. And it's been creeping back into my life. I wouldn't even say creeping. It's like full on implemented itself back into my life. So it's come to the point where I'm just doom scrolling, what they call it, scrolling. And I don't know what I'm looking for. And I'm at a point now where I'm just scrolling. And I'm aware that I'm doing it, but my brain, my hands, they're not communicating. And they're just going with the flow. Dr. Huberman, he's a really great neuroscientist. You can find him on YouTube or whatever on these platforms. But yeah, he says, if you find yourself scrolling and you don't know what you're looking for, that your dopamine system's broke. So you're just trying to feed it. That's a big problem. The other thing is alcohol. Alcohol is kind of like back in my life. So I quit for quite a long period of time. And now I'm back to drinking on weekends. I'm just a big lightweight, so I don't drink much anyway. But it's come to the point where my weekends come. I'm kind of falling into that habit of the alcohol is a part of my weekend. I go to Home Bargains after work on a Friday. I'll pop to the alcohol section, the busiest section of the whole of the store on a Friday and Saturday. So I'm in there, looking at the beers and all that, and it suddenly becomes one of the biggest decisions of like the weekend is like, oh, do I buy the whatever? Do I buy these 500ml cans, or do I buy some of those bottles? Or they look good, the Corona, whatever it is, Anyway, you're in the store, you get your alcohol, you pass the sweet aisle or whatever, get your treats as well, and it's like a little community in there. Like, you see them every weekend, and you can just tell it's Friday. If I was in a coma, just say I was in a coma for a month, and I came out of it, and I went to Home Bargains, by the atmosphere in that place and how nice the people are, or you can tell the mood of people, you get that aura from them. I could probably guess what day of the week it was, because obviously a Monday, everyone's like, well, you just know. And a Friday, everyone's buzzing, everyone's in a good mood, or even a Saturday. And for me, I get excited, I'm having a few drinks and I think, well, tomorrow I'm going to be very productive with my YouTube or my eBay. So that dopamine's flowing, you're feeling relaxed, you're feeling top of the world because the alcohol's obviously fudging with your brain. And yeah, I'm like, tomorrow I'm going to make this video, it's going to be fantastic. You start implementing things, get excited, got the music flowing, and then I wake up in the morning. So I've wasted that night, and then the next day I wake up, that motivation's gone, that exciting feeling's gone, and it's completely opposite. I'm feeling down, depressed, and anxious. Am I in the mood to make that video? Am I going to make the video at all? That's another question. Not only that, it's bad habits breed bad habits. So with the alcohol part, you're more likely to eat crappy food. So on the night, you might get a takeaway. The next day, you're going to have a fry up because you're feeling horrible. You'll have a takeaway on the night, potentially. You're going to eat sugar, you're going to eat cakes, whatever crap, because your body's just craving this fuel because you've destroyed it overnight, just drinking. Now you're feeling anxious because the excitement of the weekend is gone. You're going to form back into your normal weekly routine. You wake up Monday morning, you're going into work, the atmosphere is completely switched, everyone's a bit deflated, and you repeat the process. So what's making me feel lost? What's making me feel a bit stuck? What's making me feel like, is it all worth it? And I don't mean that to the extreme. I mean the things away from my job. Is it worth it doing this YouTube channel? Is it worth it dedicating that time to my small business? Is it really worth it stepping out my comfort zone? To be fair, if I wasn't doing those things, I have no idea what I would be doing. I've done this for so long where I've tried to educate myself. I've tried to self-improve, tried to keep myself busy, just tried to be successful. When I say successful, I don't mean successful in like the kind of monetary aspect of it. Success to me is being proud of myself. I think you get the idea. I think we can all relate to it. Alcohol can play a big part in our lives. Social media can. Doom scrolling, distractions, eating unhealthy, not exercising, breaking promises to yourself. How are we going to change from being a loser? First thing I'm going to do is clear my diary. So if you've got a diary, clear it. If you don't have a diary, get one. Whether it's a paper diary, whether it's an electronic diary, Google diary, mine's a Google diary. And I'm going to start this today. This is a reset. This is a factory reset. This is when someone says the computer's not working, unplug it and plug it back in because it's got to a point where it's not working. That's what we're going to do. We're going to unplug ourselves, metaphorically, and plug ourselves back in and reset. Clean the diary. We're going to refill it. I'm going to share what I'm going to do. So I'm going to treat my personal diary like I would my work diary. So I'm going to book slots in. So I'm going to have important slots. I'm going to have deadlines, my breaks, and etc. all booked in. It's easy to fill in a diary. This is where you got to tune into your mindset. You got to commit to this. You got to keep your promises. If I book this in, this is what I'm doing. If you have something booked in at work and you don't do it, well, your boss is going to be on your back, or someone's going to be there to hold you responsible. You need to hold yourself responsible. So this is how my diary is going to work. So in the mornings, I'm going to dedicate to me, self-care, personal time. So I'm going to set that alarm for 6 a.m. I'm going to be up and ready for my workout at 6:10. So 10 past 6 a.m, I'm going to be ready for my workout. I'm going to do a 45-minute workout booked in. Yeah, that's in my diary. That's what I'm doing. Whatever you think you're capable of in that 45 minutes, book it in. You might not want to do a workout. You might want to read. You might want to meditate. You might want to do yoga. You might just want to go for a walk. You might not even want to dedicate your morning to self-care. You might want to put that after work and put it in the evening. Whatever works for you. You know, the only way you're going to figure this out is try. But for me personally, I know that if I don't work out in the morning, I ain't doing that on the evening. For me, it works better to have the workout in the morning. 7 o'clock is for me personally, that's when I make sure my son's up and running actually when he's getting up, just so he's not sleeping in. Another thing I need to implement into my morning, cold shower. So the cold shower was something I did religiously, and that's dropped off as well. So morning cold showers, I mean, I could do a whole video about that. I'm not going to go into today, but it's life-changing. It will change your day. It will change your mindset. It's probably one of the biggest challenges of the day if you do implement it. You know, that psychological barrier of getting into that freezing cold water. But the benefits afterwards, yeah, priceless. Obviously, I'm going to have my work, so work from whatever you do, 9 till 5 or whatever it may be. Then on the evening, for me personally, family time, that type of thing, that doesn't need to be booked in. You know, that's just something that I do. That's not something I have to remind myself. That's not something I'm going to have to commit to. That's a natural part of me being a dad. So I'm going to book out 2 hours on the evening. So that might sound a lot. So you may only need an hour. You might need less. You might need more. Just whatever you feel that you can book out, that's not going to take over your whole evening. So I still want you to have fun. I still want you to relax. I still want you to watch your episode or have a quick go on Xbox or whatever it may be. We still want to have those things that keep us happy in life. We don't want to eradicate it all. It's just about having a balance. An hour or 2 hours of your evening. I mean, if you're getting from work at 6, to be fair, for an example, then you've got, 4 or 5 hours before you go to bed. Do you think you can dedicate one of those hours or half of that hour to your business, to your self-improvement, to your fitness goal? Whatever it may be. I'm going to book 2 hours. It gives me enough time to see my son, to have tea, maybe get a shower, dedicate those 2 hours, and after that I've got some relaxation time. If you're just starting out on YouTube or you're just starting your small business, I want you to be small and specific. So you may not need half an hour, you may not need an hour, you might just want to go 15 minutes. For example, if it's a business, you might think about, how do I set up a website? Or how do I set up a domain name? Or how do I register for a sole trader? Learn it, digest it, then dedicate the next day to something else. If it's a fitness goal, am I going to join the gym, start to research? Can it be something that I could do from home to take out any friction, any barriers? If it's healthy eating, could start researching recipes, what type of food you like, how you can make that diet a bit healthier. So you could also use visual reminders. You could use a paper diary and keep it out. I've got my Google Diary saved on my homepage on my phone, so I can see it as soon as I open my phone. I want a fitness tracker on the wall. Some people like a little blackboard or whiteboard where you can write your meal preps in there. It'll help you keep on track by prompting you. Just write it down. You could set reminders. The other thing is reward yourself. So once you've used that dedicated time, and you've used it productively, then treat yourself. I'm going to do my jobs. This is my dedicated hour to learning YouTube. And then once you've done that hour, treat yourself. And then you can have a little scroll on your phone, or you can go play Xbox, or you can subscribe to that OnlyFans that you've always wanted to. So with social media, I'm going to set time limits. So the time limits are on certain apps, so you can actually have your screen time on your phone. So I'll have a prominence on the top of my screen. Delete any apps that I don't use. So I'm going to go through and delete certain apps that are not adding value and I don't necessarily need. Unfortunately, the social media apps I am going to need. The other thing I'm going to do as well is unfollow or unsubscribe anyone who's not given me any benefit or any value to being on the app. The niche that I'm in, so whether it's reselling or YouTube, those guys I'm going to keep because that's what I want my feed to be full of. So when I do find myself doom scrolling, it's going to be productive as well. So I recommend have a quick look through your social media, unsubscribe to anyone who is not adding value to you, but also start subscribing or start clicking and start liking videos that you want to see that are going to be productive for you, because then the algorithm will pick that up and the algorithm will start showing you videos related to that niche or that topic. The other thing as well is just put your phone in another room. If you've got a laptop or something else you can work on, stick your phone on silent mode, whack it in another room, tell the people around you, this is what I'm doing. If you need me, come and shout me. Otherwise, if you're trying to get into a focus mode, as soon as you get distracted, I think the figures are it takes something like 20 minutes to get refocused. So if someone sent me a WhatsApp right now, I read the WhatsApp and it just said, you watching the footy tonight? I'll read it, put it down. You think you can just get back into swing things, but it does take about 20 minutes for you to refocus and recalibrate and get back into what you were doing, get back into that momentum. So stick your phone in another room. The other thing I do as well is turn notifications off. And the final thing with that is I move non-essential apps off my home screen. So most modern phones now have got a home screen, and then they've got like the pages beyond that. So when I first enter my phone, it's just the apps that I need. Then I'm less inclined to click into ones that are just going to waste my time because I have to scroll across and find them. Yeah, so try having a more productive home screen on your phone. So when it comes to alcohol, I'm not going to quit alcohol altogether. Again, I'm just going to make a reduction. So instead of the 2 nights a week, which is not every week to be fair, it depends on my work rota. I'll never drink really when I'm working the next day. So when it comes to alcohol, I think you really got to figure out the why and put the emphasis on that, the importance to focus on the why, and that'll help it bring it to life. So whether it's better sleep, you feel like you might put some weight on and you want to lose weight, you might suffer from anxiety. So although alcohol can reduce stress, it also increases anxiety, especially when you're hungover. The after effects of alcohol, the anxiety levels can go through the roof. Find your why, and then that'll really give you, it's not good just saying, I just want to, quit drinking alcohol, or I just want to kind of reduce alcohol. Unfortunately, some people it is taking over their lives. I'm talking more on about a casual basis. So it might not be a problem for you. I just want to reduce mine because it takes too much time. And it's all of the above. So I'm not sleeping very well. My anxiety levels are very high. And I'm not dedicating that time to something more productive. So that's my why. At the end of the day, alcohol is poison, and obviously we don't see that because it becomes an everyday part of our lives. The shops sell it and it's there to consume. Some people actually think you're a bit strange if you don't consume alcohol, which is really bizarre. If you ask someone, do you want a cup of coffee? And they said, oh no, I don't drink coffee. You'd be all right, no problem. And you wouldn't think twice about it. But as soon as you ask someone if they drink alcohol and they say, no, I don't drink alcohol, you're like, what? Well, you don't drink alcohol? What, have you never drank alcohol? Surely you've had some alcohol. Why don't you drink alcohol? It's like, it's so bizarre how the world is in tune to, like, you're a bit weird if you don't drink. A bit boring, Cole doesn't drink. So the money you spend on alcohol, and whether it's beers or wine or whatever, you maybe treat yourself to something else instead of alcohol. It's the weekend, you can have a treat, you can have some nice food, you could have that takeaway. To be fair, it is the weekend. Obviously, takeaways are not healthy, but once you've had the takeaway, you might feel a bit sluggish afterwards, but generally it's not really going to totally affect your next day. It's probably not going to affect your anxiety levels, that type of thing. Treat yourself, go out somewhere, go for a walk, rent a movie on the TV, save up and treat yourself to a game, an Xbox game or something like that, and you're getting some sort of reward, because drinking alcohol is a bit like the social media where once you've done it, there's no reward after it. You kind of scrolled, you got nothing from it. You've drank alcohol, you've got nothing from it. And both times, the only thing that you've got left from it is negative stuff. So you've wasted time when it's social media. You've probably got yourself in a negative mindset because some of the stuff you've watched on there is negative. Alcohol, anxiety, bad sleep. There's a lot of negative impacts, really bad health issues that can occur from excessive alcohol consumption. So starting today, we're going to change that loser mentality. We're going to become winners. We're going to do a step at a time. It's not going to be overnight. So from now, we're going to sort our diary out and time block those important events, that time dedicated to you, dedicated to your business, dedicated to your hobby, whatever it may be. And we're also going to reevaluate our relationships with our phones and social media and alcohol. I'm not an expert in this, by the way. I can't give you too much advice on alcohol reduction, and I can't give you too much advice on breaking that cycle of using your phone. I can only tell you what I've implemented, and if it's worked or if it's failed. Failed's a bad word. I guess if it works and it hasn't, and then we can try the next thing. So I'm going to keep releasing videos related to this so we can keep ourselves accountable. We'll see how much progress we made, see what worked, see what hasn't. We can share that. We're all one community. We want to grow. We want to learn. We want to be successful. We want to be happy. We want to do that together. Hope you enjoyed the video. I just wanted to have a little rant about how I'm feeling. I'm feeling a lot better after making this video. Maybe just release a video, get it all off your chest, and we can restart and press that factory reset button. See you at the next one.